Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash, the abundance elder apostles, a great millstone that roll well. Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, sharing truth, pushing his words to the four corners. Shalom. I just wanted to touch on the WEF. Because these guys, what do you call it? I think the day that Trump got in office, the 20th, is when they began it. And there was a few topics they kind of had in advance that they're planning to talk about, and it just kind of looks like it's setting the agenda, going forward for the year of basically what you should expect to see, kind of coming over the course of the year. Because that's how these elites get down. They basically will showcase and let you know in advance what's coming, even if it's not something said plainly, but then others is they'll hint at it. But then with this, it's letting you know what to kind of focus on, because you had from going back to when C-19, when the pandemic kicked off. What was it? What the fuck was the? It was what, you'll own nothing and be happy, and with that's something that has been progressing steadily over the course of what do you call that? That's been progressing steadily over the course of what do you call it? Well, of the decades since. You've more or less had lots of things move on to what's the term? The fuck is the term that I'm looking for? Onto subscriptions. Like, a lot of things are basically moved from like ownership onto subscriptions, and then it's even got to the point of like cars. It's housing as well. It's like with the housing and whatnot. That's got to the point where it's like, rather than owning, it's just rent. Everything's kind of in at transitory kind of state when you're dealing with it, and it's just normally kind of been accepted over time. It's like where people used to like buy VHSs, buy DVDs, even buy Blu-rays. Now people just stream things. It's like you mentioned, like, oh, watch this, I thingy this. They'll be like, okay, where can I watch it? They're not really looking at it as a thing of they want to have those things to have them. They're just looking at like, oh, no, I want have those things to have them. They're just like I just want to be able to engage with it through whatever, and that's been normalized. So these, when you look at these things, it might not immediately be taking effect, but you'll see it kind of diffuse out over time. And it's Trump getting in. You've then got a big shift with him coming in to where so many things are changing, and then people aren't even fully aware of what do you call it? So many strangers coming in. People aren't even aware of the scale to which that impact is. Like there's things that have been signed, things that have been done where people might not even know until a bit further ahead. So this is on International Business Times. It's one, saying calls for calm, Pope on AI, Millet on Musk, what happened at Davos Thursday, that there's a buzzword in the annual meeting of the world's elites in the Swiss luxury resort of Davos, tariffs. Although AI has been another big theme. For the World Trade Organization chief, it's time cooler heads prevail as she warned against tit-for-tat tariffs. That might be easier said than done for the countries that could be in the line for US tariffs after US President Donald Trump indicated he could deliver on these many threats. So yeah, the tariffs is been big in the news before Trump got in. Now that Trump's in, everyone's quaking in their boots. And that's kind of what, international markets, what people globally are kind of on edge about, is those tariffs coming in. Because why? It could be peak. That could completely destroy businesses. It's funny, like, you have, the fuck is it? What was, so with the tariffs, you have with the tariffs, oh, Chinese electric vehicles, or just electric vehicles in general. That's been a big push. And then even with it, it's like more and more it seems like it's kind of it's a shit idea. It's wash. It's not going to outdo petrol cars as far as efficiency wise. And then as it scales up, even with, especially with the batteries, the materials, the cobalt and whatnot, especially because of how it's mined, it's not sustainable to basically have it. If everyone was to get like an EV or hybrid or whatever, it wouldn't be sustainable. But they're still pushing it because of why it's the whole, oh, saving the planet, blah 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 blah. And that's so then, where that goes, what that's going to be used to justify going forward will be interesting. And then with the tariffs as well, then you're going to have economic, markets feeling the squeeze. And then it can get peak. When markets are getting fucked like that, that's when it gets peak. And then when it gets peak, um, you know, further madness can be justified off the back of that. So we'll see, man. So the tariffs is one. I'll skip down a bit because she's talking about that. So yeah, there's the Trump doing the the salute, which has been big in the news and social media. Um, says my dear friend Musk has been unfairly vilified by wokeism in recent hours for an innocent gesture that only means his gratitude to the people. And then yeah, with that, I'm just kind of looking at it as a thing of, what do you call it? Fucking hell. I'm looking at it as it's probably gonna, that might be part of clamping down on social media. What people can say, misinformation, all those kinds of things. That's the kind of angle it looks like it's going into with that. But then we'll see, because well, obviously Trump, Elon's the owner of Twitter, so we'll see how that shakes out. And then AI as well with the Pope. That's the other thing that was mentioned. Where it said what? The Pope is familiar with AI and its risk of deepfakes. In 2023, an AI generated image of Pope Francis in a puffer jacket went viral. The results the AI can produce are almost indistinguishable from those of human beings, raising questions about its effects on the growing crisis of truth in the public forum. Yeah, so AI, and then essentially not being able to tell the difference between AI generated and an actual real images. And the thing is as well is, as time goes on, well, it's something that said, it's like it's only going to get better with time. And then as it becomes more difficult to tell, fucking hell, the difference, that's really where it then becomes that's really where it becomes what do you call that, more impactful. But then the thing with that is when you go to it being used like the military grade, government grade, you can't tell or know what level they're at. There could already be things out there where they might have either touched something up with AI or whatever, and then just kind of seen, okay, let's try and put this out and see if people can tell. They might have done that a few times, and then some of them, they were like, oh, what do you call it? They might, and then from seeing what they get away with, they're like, okay, we're this close, or you might try and okay, and then once that, like, and the thing is once, you know, behind closed doors that's opened up, then it becomes once it's behind closed doors, it's opened up. Then you know you're not even gonna fully know what the extent of it is. You're really not gonna fully know the extent of it. It would just be getting utilized. And especially, you know, I think that's something that's going to be aimed at brothers, where they might try and, you know, tarnish us with like, oh, X, Y, Z was happening, and then it's obviously just going to be some thingy bullshit. So the other one is on Al Jazeera, going into, you know, Trump spoke today, and it's like going over what was talking on. And this was another aspect, because it was talking about tariffs, talking about other things, but the key one for me with Trump's second term, it was there was aspects of it in his first term as well, but it's need water, man. It's a lot in his first term, but now more in his second term. It's come to the forefront of that fucking annoyed me. Trump of the what is it, schism, let's say, with the EU. That's more coming to the forefront. So it says Trump criticizes EU. The president, however, reserved special ire for the EU, which he accused of imposing cumbersome regulations and attacking US businesses. He cited recent antitrust cases against US-based tech titans as examples. They took court cases with Apple, and they supposedly won a case that most people didn't think was much of a case, Trump said. They won billions from Google. I think they're after Facebook for billions and billions. And yeah, the interesting aspect of it as well is now that what is it, Musk and what the fuck's the other guy called, Mark Zuckerberg, are with Trump as far as policy wise or whatever. Then people are saying, like, now misinformation, especially in the EU, they're saying, oh, we need to investigate into X because of misinformation going out. You could have and because of that schism, you could have further legislation over social media, like what you post on it, and then being brought up on it in the EU. And it's kind of building that breach between the EU and America, which, you know, we know is going to culminate in missiles being launched from, you know, former allies, the EU, members of the EU onto America. And it's kind of, like I said, it's something that has been building up. Really, France is at the head of it. But then you've had, what is it, Musk talking to the, you know, they're saying what, far right or whatever it is in Germany, and they were getting upset about that. Musk talking about reform in the UK as well, and people getting upset about that. It's basically those political schisms being built up to where I'm looking. Well, you can see ways for, especially with Trump in office, that to develop further. And he's got a little while, and it depends what crises happen as well, because like the tariffs could fuck with monetary markets, and you've had, you know, Trump's pushing towards crypto, which then just, you know, sounds like, you know, CBDC down the line, and then, you know, different currencies. They said they're looking to do a crypto. I can't even remember what the term is. Maybe it's down here. Let's just see. Nah. The crypto kind of reserve or whatever of a bunch of different currencies. And he's generally positive on crypto, so that's all leading to the beast system, really. So I said he implied the cases were motivated in part on the company's country of origin. These are American companies, Trump said. They shouldn't be doing that. As far as I'm concerned, it's a form of taxation. The US is the EU's top trading partner, and as of 2022, the US had a $113 billion trade deficit with the 27-nation bloc. According to US government statistics, The US exported goods worth 592 billion to the EU and imported 723 billion. Most economists believe deficits are not necessarily a sign of trouble. The imbalance in trade can be the result of numerous factors, including differences in currency value and consumer spending habits. But Trump has zeroed in on trade deficits as a sign of economic weakness, and he has once again pledged to eliminate them, as he promised in his first tariff from 2017 to 2021. He also compared Europe's value-added taxes to a non-economic or non-monetary tariff. From the standpoint of America, the EU treats us very, very unfairly, very badly, Trump said. They essentially don't take our farm products and don't take our cars, yet they send cars to us by the million. They put tariffs on things that we want to do. So yeah, it's the back and forth, and it could be blessed. It could not have follow through, but we'll see. We'll see what it culminates into. Because like I said, this is kind of setting the vibration, the what they're looking to do over the course of the year. And that's why it's like, as soon as why did WF get big in as far as people being aware of it? It was during the lockdowns during the pandemic. We were talking about how it's something to be taken advantage of. And then it's what all these different nations, Zelensky's there, this motherfucker from Argentina's there. It's like every blood clot there. Like what so with that, then yeah, we can kind of see it's pushing forward. So we'll see how it shakes out, because it's 3 days since Trump got in. It's already getting spicy. It's people are getting upset. People are getting riled up. We'll kind of we'll see how this goes forward, man. So Obadiah 1:3, it says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" And Trump is a perfect example of that pride of Esau, man, just being showcased. He's an excellent example to use. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Jehovah. And yeah, that's they've exalted themselves, and it's all gonna come to an end. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, and you can see what they say, it was a trade deficit. The EU's eating off America. They're getting them dollars. They're getting more dollars than the US is getting from them. So these guys are what do you call it? They're having the fuck. There's a dynamic between them, and that's really all these nations. Babylon the Great is that great whore they can take advantage of, man. Cash, money, and the surprises can be gained off it. That's a big part of the appeal. What I wanted to do was, let's see what NLT says. So it says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. So yeah, allies will turn on you. And they'll promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Yeah, it's basically gonna be how Esau's conducted himself that's basically going to continue. Psalms 64:2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows. Even bitter words. Yeah. And that's what you're hearing, them bitter words going out. Tariffs, all these terms going out. People, it's getting people on edge. It's having a psychological impact upon their minds. And that's, it's destroying them. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And yeah, it's ultimately to come against Israel. All that they're doing in the dark is, so they can overcome that loss of their birthright, man. That desire for the blessing that Israel's got, they're trying to overcome and attain it for themselves. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Yeah. Commune of laying snares privately. They're doing these things in the dark, in the private. And then speaking, winking with their feet, man. And the people are like, oh, it's just blah, blah. But then you see all these things come out over time as well. There's that period of time where it's like, if you're talking about pedophile rings and whatnot in Hollywood, people are like, no, they don't do that, man. Now what? Hold the fucking L. Can't say a goddamn thing. Because why? It's all these things are coming out. And it's been fucking decades that shit's been spoken about. By insiders as well. People that are in there saying, they're doing XYZ to the kids. Casting couch, all them kinds of things for men and the women too. But until, the mainstream media says it didn't exist. And then they take, that same logic. It's like, oh no, you guys are just conspiracy. I'm like, bro, okay, well, when it comes to pass, good luck. Have fun. Ezekiel 28:2, it says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Most High Power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I sit in the seat, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as a heart of God. Because behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. And yeah, it's all essentially Esau trying to be like the Most High. And because of him receiving his blessing, he gained the rule by the sword and maintained it as such. And by taking down Jake, he's desirous of continuing maintaining that. But then what? The money's a huge aspect too. The money's a huge aspect as well. That wealth is a big way extension of how Esau has power over other nations, which is why the tariffs got everyone on edge. Because why? It fucks with the money, fucks with the trade, fucks with the capability to, even sustain yourself for some. Then as such, what? They're done, man. It says, therefore, thus saith the Most High Power, because thou hast set thine heart as a heart of God. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw the swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. And yeah. I'll bring, well, yeah, there's the enemy's basically been established to bring an end to America. Part of that is these allies flipping, but then the bolt is Russia's chief amongst those enemies, man. And it's gonna be the guard. It's gonna be essentially the the core component of what's gonna bring about the end of America. That's why everyone's so tense about the war in Ukraine. It's gonna be peak. They're saying like, yo, this this guy could sweep over the whole of Europe. But then really it's gonna be against America, man. That's gonna be the focus. Everyone's gonna turn and flip. And that's a relationship, that shift in dynamics. You can see it being developed, man. Plainly. The fuck? Okay. But yeah. I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom. Come on.